Good evening, Chelsea. Welcome to The Vision. I am your host this evening, and my name is Dr. Sandra Whitley. Each episode, we introduce to you very special guests. Without a vision, the people perish. So I will introduce to you this evening our very special guest who is doing remarkable and amazing work in this community of Chelsea, bringing awareness to everyone about how our girls, our women, our men, and boys can have better relationships with one another. She has found the secret to how we can protect women and girls against violence. So I want to introduce to you Carew Pitch. She's the executive director of HarborCov right here in Chelsea. So, Carew, speak to us. Share what you know.
Thank you so much, Dr. Whitley, for having me here today. By your introduction, I feel very special. So I'm Carew Pitch. I am an executive director at HarborCov, and today we're going to take the opportunity to talk about who we are, what we do, what community we serve. So HarborCov provides safe and supportive services for survivor domestic violence. We have a 24-hour crisis hotline, case management for individuals and families. We provide economic support for families and individuals. We also provide housing and supportive services. We also do public education and training for the community as well. So we work with survivors from our community based through Charlestown, Revere, Winthrop, Chelsea, and East Boston. For 2019, we served about 500 survivors from the community base, from the 5 communities.
500 survivors?
Yes.
Okay. And they come from where?
They come from Chelsea, Revere, Winthrop, Charlestown, and East Boston.
Oh, okay.
And we
I thought I heard about some that come from out of state.
Yes.
You do have.
Yes.
Okay.
We also provide, we call emergency to permanent housing for survivors throughout the state, throughout the country, and sometimes internationally.
Okay.
People who just have to flee domestic violence and they need just like a safe place to stay. So they can call a hotline, they can call our business line as well. So through our housing, we serve about 300 survivors annually. And we answer about 1,500 crisis hotline.
1,500?
Yes.
Oh my.
In our community.
Okay. So how long have you been with HarborCov? What brought you to be there as the executive director?
So I started HarborCov 20 years ago as an advocate and got promoted throughout the year. I think this work is from my heart. I love doing this work, and I don't know what else to do because this is what, is in my heart.
So what kind of success stories or what kind of stories that you had for all these survivors? What are typically some scenarios?
Yes, we have so many success stories. Well, as you know, Chelsea, dominantly we have a lot of survivors from immigrants community.
Okay.
Spanish-speaking community are the largest population we serve. So we work with many immigrant survivors. We provide immigration legal support through T visa, VAWA, spousal petition, and U visa as well. I just want to share with you one successful story.
Okay, good.
We had an 18-year-old young girl came from other country, and she was experiencing domestic violence abuse. And because of her status, because of her situation, no other legal services can support her. And through HarborCov, we were able to support her, give her all the, kind of wrap around supportive services to not either support her with housing, education, transportation, and also able to kind of access the documentation for her, immigration documentation for her. And it took us 5 years, but it was a great success. No one would take her case. And finally, she's free of abuse, and she, at the time, she was in college. She has her immigration documentation. She could work, she could go to school.
Did she finish her program at the college? Did she graduate? Or is she still working on it? Or?
I'm not aware of that.
Oh, okay.
At the time, we knew that she was in
That's
college.
what she was doing.
Yeah,
and that
she
was
was
very
doing.
positive.
Right,
yeah, and it's always good to have positive
Exactly.
stories.
We have so many successful stories.
And so that's why it's so well worth it. That's why it's such a passion for you, right?
Yes, it like I said, it's my passion, compassion. It's come from the heart.
Okay.
Yes.
So so I know we have an event coming up. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Okay. So that's why we're here with you. We want to promote the White Ribbon Campaign event. So the White Ribbon Campaign is a statewide event, and usually it kicks off in the first week of March. And most local community kind of have their event throughout the years. And so I'm gonna turn it to Nancy to speak about what the White Ribbon Day event is.
Okay, good.
And the history
Because I would
of
like
the White
for you to
Ribbon
make
Day
sure
event.
you explain the white ribbon. So that's what Nancy. So we want. Okay, Nancy. Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you as well, the family engagement manager at HarborCov. So welcome. So we'll tell us and give us a little bit more background, and especially explain white ribbon.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm very pleased to be able to talk about the White Ribbon Campaign because it's an international campaign to end violence against women and girls, where men and boys are invited to take the lead in this. And it is a campaign that started in Canada, which is my home country. And that began in 1991 in Toronto, actually the city where I used to live as well.
Oh, wow.
And a group of men there decided to hold a vigil and a rally that then turned into this international campaign that we now know as the International White Ribbon Campaign. And it has just spread around the world. It's the largest movement of men and boys to end violence.
And when did you say that
against women.
started?
1991.
1991. Wow.
Now, tragically, and this is what I'm not particularly proud of, is that the reason why this campaign began is because in 1989 there was a massacre that took place at a university in Montreal. And on December 6th, 1989, a man barged into the classrooms of the engineering department. And he was someone who hadn't gained entrance into the program, so he was quite bitter and resentful of this. And felt that women should not be in this program. So what he said was, women, I want you all to line up against this wall.
Oh, no, don't tell me. Which program? The White Ribbon Program, or what? A program
An engineering program.
At the university. Oh, okay.
And then he killed 14 engineering students, women. So it was clearly a gender-based act of violence.
Oh my gosh.
And due to that tragedy came this movement, inviting men to step up
to the plate here. So was there any type of research or analysis done as to why, other than, him just having this hatred towards women in this career field, but was there any more research that could say what may have led to him?
I think it's the general culture of misogyny, where women are, assigned a particular role in society, and, in his mind, women were not meant to be engineers, and he as a man felt disempowered, by his experience of being rejected from this school. And so thank you for asking this question, because the White Ribbon Campaign indeed does address what we would call unhealthy or toxic masculinity, notions of what men are supposed to be, what women are supposed to be, that perpetuate violence against women and girls. And so in this campaign, we talk a lot about gender roles and what a healthy masculinity would look like as a way to prevent this kind of violence from continuing. Because sadly, this example of what happened in Canada is not the only one. It's something that has sadly continued.
And once the movement started in Canada and Toronto, so which state in the United States did it take a foothold? Was it California? Was it Ohio? Was it right here in Chelsea?
So
Because it's spread.
Throughout United States, we have Domestic Violence Coalition. And the coalition and local program take on the White Ribbon Day campaign to really promote men and boys to stand up against violence against women and gender-based violence, because that is the root causes of domestic violence. So throughout the United States, Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Coalition take on the White Ribbon Day campaign.
And how is that connected with Jane Doe? Is there any connection, or is it two different?
Yeah, so HarborCov is a member to a Jane Doe. Jane Doe is the Massachusetts State Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence that consists of about 59 members of domestic violence and sexual assault local programs in the state.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that part, Nancy. Oh, that's so sad.
Yes. But out of this tragedy,
the
came
a
a very powerful and important worldwide movement.
Yes, yes, awareness, definitely.
Right, and as you know, the statistics show that 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men have experienced some type of intimate partner violence in their lifetime.
Yes.
And and I want to also address about the gun as well. A presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk of homicide by 500%.
500%?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Okay. This is painful. However,
that's why
we're rising above the pain, because you have the vision for this event that's coming up in March.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
So on March 26th, from 6 to 8, at Revere Elementary School, I think it's elementary school or middle school, at Romney Marsh, we are promoting the White Ribbon campaign to raise awareness about violence against women and girls from 6 to 8 p.m. We would like to invite mostly men and boys to participate. And we have a very honored guest speaker, Tony Porter from A Call to Men. He does a lot of national work and international work to bring men together to be part of the solution to end domestic violence.
Oh. Tell us about the communities again that's invited. So you cover, HarborCov covers the community, how many? 5 different communities?
Yes,
and
so
those
we're inviting
that
everyone from Charlestown, Revere, East Boston, Winthrop, and Chelsea. To participate in this meaningful event.
Okay. So, is there anything else that you would like to add? Because you have some more guests, the rest of the planning committee that will be joining us. But is there anything else that you would like to say?
Well, maybe I'll just add that for me, and I think for Crew and all the members of the planning committee that you'll be meeting soon, this work really addresses the root causes of what we deal with at HarborCov every day, year in, year out. And we want to see that end. So prevention, I think, is a really important part of the work that we do, and I'm so pleased that we have this opportunity to do this together as a community and to have so much support in really getting to the cause of this social problem.
And I really appreciate the optimism. You know, most people will say, there is no way we're going to end this.
Oh, yeah,
but
we
no,
will.
we're going to end
We
this.
will.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And so with the
Together.
vision and the passion and the fact that you all invited various members of our community to come and say, you know what, we can't do this alone, but we can do it if we come together as a community. And so this is beautiful, and we really applaud the two of you for all that you have done and what you will continue to do, and for the success of the event on March the 26th.